here at home in Melbourne, as we come to 7 minutes to 9, there are more and more vacant homes, vacant apartments in Melbourne. There are tens of thousands of them. How do we know? Because there's a lot more homes not using any water, like no water at all. Each year, a think tank has a look at homes with no water usage measured, no water used, and the number of homes like that has leapt 16%. Rayna Fahey joins you from the economics-focused NGO called Prosper Australia. Rayna, good morning.
Good morning, Raf.
Where does that 16% figure come from?
That's the number of the percentage increase of totally empty homes in the last 12 months. So it's gone from 27,500 to just under 32,000.
And where are those empty homes? Which bits of Melbourne?
All over, but the biggest increases have been in the suburbs, like the council areas like Whitehorse, Marybeck and Burundara.
And the number, Rayna, that always, to be honest, really stops me in my tracks. How does the number of empty homes compared to the number of homeless people?
Well, that's the heartbreaking thing, isn't it? There's 24,000 homeless residents in Melbourne, and there's 65,000 people on the public housing waiting list. So, those numbers kind of line up quite nicely, which is a bit heartbreaking. We have a great resource distribution inefficiency in our housing market.
Tell me a bit more about where the numbers come from and like how granular does the data get?
Yeah, good question. So we measure the water use across all of the three main water suppliers in Melbourne, and we look at houses that have absolutely zero water use, and we also look at houses that have less than 50 litres a day averaged out across a whole year. So that's about the equivalent of a dripping tap. So some houses are empty, but they have a small amount of water use, so we want to include those as well. It's over 100,000 empty and underused homes in Melbourne.
Whenever I've raised this with the state government, they're very sceptical about using water usage as a good indicator of whether or not someone's in a house. When they express that scepticism, what would you say?
Great. Tell us how you would do it differently. It is of a great concern to us that a tiny little not-for-profit in Melbourne is the only organisation that is tracking the way that we use our homes. It is such a massive issue nationally, yet no one is trying to understand the shape and size of this problem. The ABS did have a little look at it, and they used electricity data as their proxy for vacancy, and they came up with a pretty similar figure to ours. So, we'd love the government to be doing some more work in this area. They could even start by just auditing their own land between state and local councils. There's an enormous amount of land across Victoria that's either an empty house or an empty block of land that's not being used. We want to know what the numbers are. Tell us the true story because, we're tiny. We don't have the greatest resources in the world. This is the best that we can do. But we think it's a critical story that needs to be told.
Prosper Australia is an NGO. They focus on economics. They're focusing on what they say is good empty home data. Rayna Fahey is with us from Prosper Australia. Rayna, we've had for a number of years in Victoria, and they've sort of ramped it up. You get taxed if a place is not vacant. I've tried to get people on the radio from the State Revenue Office to explain whether or not they do something like this. Has the vacancy tax made a difference?
Not well, the data doesn't say yet. But again, we'd love to see some information from the government on that. We know from their own data that when they cracked down on compliance, they found widespread tax avoidance. In 2024, they looked at just 5 buildings in the CBD and ended up issuing over 337 new assessment notices. So, this is the problem with it's effectively a voluntary tax. If it's not been enforced, then, who's going to pay a tax that you don't have to? We applaud the government making moves towards addressing this issue, but we don't think that this is necessarily the most effective way of going about it.
Thanks for your time, Rayna.
No worries. Thanks, Raf. Have a good day.
Rayna Fahey's from Prosper Australia. So just to repeat, that's an estimate of 32,000 vacant homes, so 32,000 homes without people, and there are 24,000 people without a home. So just the homeless number is 24,000. The number of empty homes is 32,000. So it's not simple to, for one to use the other, but interesting comparison, isn't it? Chris is calling from Wantirna. What do you want to mention, Chris?
Hi, Raf. Can you hear me all right?
Everyone can.
Oh, good. Yeah. Look, this isn't really empty housing, but it's a half-finished, it's a three-quarter finished whole housing estate opposite the Rogue Square on Wheelers Hill, and it's been like that for quite some time, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. There's about 50 houses empty on the top of the hill. Townhouses. It's like a whole estate, half-built block of flats and a whole housing estate full of houses. And they're all nearly finished. They've got glass in the windows, and they've been like that for several years now. And nobody seems to be doing anything about them.
Frustrating to see.
Yeah, very frustrating to see, especially when they're building houses everywhere and filling up all the beautiful areas in the city. And there's this whole estate just lying there, half finished.
Thanks for your call, Chris. Got an amazingly detailed text like this. Empty houses. In Murrumbeena, there is an unused police station that is also a house. Also, I won't read out the number, but a number on Lawrence Street has been unoccupied for at least 5 years. In Moorabbin, a particular house, again with the number in the text, in Healy Street's also been unoccupied for the last 5 years. So there's clearly empty houses out there. Prosper Australia says it's 32,000 homes. Whitehorse has some of the largest numbers. That, of course, includes Box Hill. Many of you text me to say that some of the apartment towers in Box Hill don't have the lights on often at night.